the bees are also about something slow, an investment. Like you don't get honey the first year that you have a new hive. That swarm that I caught today, it's not going to have honey this year, but next year could have some honey. And so it's like delayed gratification, patience.
Which is recovery.
It is.
Do they talk to you? Like, are you a bee whisperer?
So like, Ronnie, you coming back to the detox? No.
I mean, what's going on, y'all? It's your favorite podcast. Your boys, Ronnie LeDuff, Michael Oakley.
Episode, what, 22? 22. Now, listen. We know, Celsius, we know what it takes to be a brand ambassador, but we want y'all to come to us. We want you to come together right now.
Over me.
You know what I mean? Look at this.
I know.
What is this?
You know.
Mike, what happened? Mike, are we growing?
We're growing.
Mike, are we glowing and growing?
Growing and glowing.
Are we growing? Yeah.
Listen, so we've always asked our lovely viewers to support us by engaging with comments,
yes,
liking,
yes,
sharing,
yes,
and most importantly, subscribing.
Yes, Lord.
But we never give them a chance after we say go subscribe to subscribe. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Hopefully you subscribed. All right.
Perfect.
See,
I love it.
See what I did there?
You've been watching stuff.
Yeah.
You did a little bell come above my head.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsors.
And for another time for you to subscribe.
And then we've got a heavy hitter.
His name be buzzing.
Quick moment from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back at it.
If you've been thinking about starting a podcast, we'd love to help. At Bray Media Group, we're Baton Rouge locals who believe in making podcasting easy and authentic. We handle the editing, prep the social media clips, and use 3 angles and a confidence monitor to keep you comfortable and confident. Come by for a tour. We'd love to hear your vision and help bring it to life. Everyone has a story. Let us tell yours.
And just like that, we're back.
We back.
Woo. Ronnie.
Man.
You know, it seems like we've had a list of people we wanted on.
Right.
And people that we've worked hard to get on.
Yep.
And we've had to fight.
But
now,
tooth and nail.
Now we're starting to make traction with them.
Yes.
You know, we had Mark.
Yep.
You had a
90 episodes
Yeah.
it took to get him on.
We had Ryan.
We had Ryan, a 2-year, another one.
And now
we got Louis, another one. It took long because I was scared to ask.
You were scared to ask.
I was scared to ask.
But y'all finally came up with the money, so there was just fine, you know.
You ain't supposed to tell them. The new mic covers, we got to guess with the money.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've already seen them, but we're not gonna deprive y'all of the best hype man on both sides of the Mississippi.
Let's go.
The one, the only, Ronnie LeDuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, beekeepers and lawyers, check it out. This episode, this interview, this conversation comes full circle for me. This young man not only was the owner of the facility where this journey started for me, he was also the most healthiest mailman I've ever met in my life. That's a funny story we'll get into in the episode. I mean, when you talk about charisma, when you talk about genuineness, when you talk about caring, when you talk about understanding the assignment, when you talk about creating a safe space and a safe atmosphere for people not only just like him, but people that's just like him. Do you understand what I'm telling you? This is the first time ever we've had a beekeeper on the episode. This is the first time ever we've had a lawyer on the episode. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking I'm right.
You're not wrong.
This is the first time that we've had the person that's the most at something, right? Because I want to say he is the most generous. I want to say he is the most courageous. I want to say that he is the most understanding.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I got a case coming up soon that I need some pro bono work for. But I'm not going to deny y'all the privilege of getting to know this guy any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, queen bees and worker bees, we have the one, the only, Lewis Blanche in the Built by the Red Stick building. in.
Welcome.
Guys. So nice to see you. You kind of left out a couple of my professions, and
Help me out.
you've already had a meth cook on?
A meth cook?
We had Breaking Bad.
We did.
Yeah.
Ethan.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep, we had Ethan.
Good at it, yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? You was probably better at it. Let's do
So before we get started,
Man.
tell the listeners who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself, and then we'll kind of dive into questions.
Yeah, Mike, I am. I'm from Baton Rouge. I spent some time up in Maryland. In fact, I got sober in Maryland when I needed to, and I've gotten a lot of things back because of recovery.
Absolutely.
And, I'm practicing law here in Baton Rouge and running a sober living house and keeping bees and being a dad.
and I did forget about the great dad. Well, that's one of the main professions.
And a husband to my wonderful wife. So, life is
Absolutely.
very good right here in the red stick.
Absolutely.
We love it. We love it.
Your honey got me some honey too, by the way. I need to get some more from you, man.
Get you a bigger bottle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gonna get him another kid with a bigger bottle. You got too. So let's start off from the beginning, right? So what was the early life of Louis growing up?
Yeah, so mom and dad split, so me and my brother and my mom, we went back to Maryland. Really excellent opportunity to develop a good child, but things happened. So we lived in a small town, Cambridge, Maryland, lived on the water, good, regular life,
Makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Grew up on the water.
Riding my bike to the bus stop and leaving it there, and it was there when I got back. That kind of
Oh, so you grew up in a white neighborhood.
And so, but you know what? When it's in you, right?
Yep.
And so early on, I now kind of can recognize those things that were going to cause me problems. Not comfortable with other people, right?
Yep.
I was real skinny. I had freckles, and I used to have fire engine red curly hair, and so you might understand how that will kind of isolate you from the rest of the folks,
100%.
right? And all of a sudden, that will make you develop into the most daredevil class clown. I'm going to be the funniest and the wildest kid around, and you know what? You never can get enough, right?
Yep.
And so that was long before drugs and alcohol. I'd gotten in some trouble up there in Maryland, and they sent me down here for a year with my dad,
When was this?
7th grade.
Okay.
Dad had just gotten out of St. Christopher's when it was on government. Yeah.
Wait, your dad famous too, right?
Well, he's another one of us. How about that?
Yeah.
And so, my dad likes to say, well, when you got here, you started hiding our marijuana roaches from us so we couldn't find them. And when you left here, you were hiding them in your pocket so you could find them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, the journey begins. It revved up pretty quickly, honestly. Soon all the other things were on the table. High school was one of...
High school in Maryland or down here?
I took a tour of high schools. I think 4 or 5 of them. So I got one up there. I got 3 down here, and one of those was twice. So, it was okay. There was I went to boarding school at St. Paul's in Covington because in my dad's house I was like, man, I'm the last person anybody thinks of around here. I want to go somewhere else, and then I, met all the really bad kids over there from New Orleans, and that was
That was a culture shock there.
Yeah. So I do that. I get out of high school, and I go right into UNO pretty quickly. In fact, I move out at 17, and they didn't even ask me where I was going, And
Just gone.
I was just gone, and so I was living in New Orleans, going to UNO. Didn't do so well. You release a 17-year-old on to New Orleans, and
You were already dabbling at that point.
for sure. And so I I had 33 hours of 1.333, and I remember my grandfather at times says, "Just stop going. You're going to screw it up." And so then I became a marijuana magnet, and I don't think that's what he wanted me to do. But and then I remember him saying, "You should go back."
I like the marijuana magnet.
Well, yeah, I started the 5M Corporation. Then it was the middlemen make more money. So
Make more money.
Make more money. I've never heard that.
5M Corporate.
yeah. So of course, like all things, addiction ruins things, and criminality ruins things, and I get in trouble for that, and I go back to school, and
You go back to UNO.
this time to LSU,
Okay.
and
That makes him happy.
so I was on pretty serious probation for a while, and I made good grades when they were, keeping track of me and making sure I was doing what I was supposed to do. And but probation ends,
It sure does.
and that's the kind of I wasn't engaged in our program. I wasn't engaged in a spiritual awakening. I wasn't engaged in waking up every day and thinking about somebody else.
Right.
And so what I was doing is white knuckling it. I was fooling who I really was. But you know what? I was young enough to be able to fight through some things, and I got a undergraduate degree, and I got into law school, and but the probation ended somewhere after that first year or so in law school, and I was in the middle of the pack, but I started going down
so
there.
are you using that this time, getting your undergrad, or you white knuckling
His
it?
undergrad was probation. His first year of law school is when probation stopped, and that's when he started.
I thought first year in the undergrad school probation stopped.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have made
He
it
was on probation 4 years.
longer. Yeah.
What kind of probation is that?
Oh,
Was it based off the stuff you did at UNO, or you messed up again when you got
he's
to LSU?
thinking of academic probation, and I'm talking about criminal probation.
Oh,
you're thinking?
I thought he was on academic probation. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm
So
sorry.
he left UNO, got in. His addiction took over. He got
5M
into some
corporation.
he got into some legal trouble,
Okay.
and was
Nice.
put on the type of probation that has an officer follow you.
Got you. Supervised probation, not academic. We here now. We here. So was that one of the stipulations of your probation to go back to school? Oh yeah, that was kind of like, hey, let me go back to school.
In my expert way of getting out of trouble, I was telling them what I was doing, right? I'm like, Judge, I'm gonna, right? And look, fortunately, that was really helpful. I figured out how to get out of trouble. That's just send them your dean's list certificate every semester, because they're like, hey, nobody else is doing this. You look a little
I
different.
sure the hell was.
Yeah, I left. I got in trouble, lost my scholarship, never went back.
And that's a lot of the way I represent people. I said, look, you need to look a lot different. And so, I'll talk people into doing things for criminal charges that they're like, the attorney wasn't talking about this. I was like, you know what, if you want me to represent you, I need you to do this.
Yeah.
I need you to wake up every day and find somebody to do something for without expecting anything in return, because that's where it's going to come from, right? And if you're doing that, you're probably not doing dirty things.
Yep.
100%.
So, I didn't know it then. And fortunately, it takes a lot of trouble, and it takes a lot of pain and consequences for you to be brought to a program. I mean, I couldn't be happier, really. I'm the most satisfied customer of recovery ever. It brought me to my wife. It gave me these kids. I got you guys as friends, and everything I have is a result of being an addict.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would not, I sat in the rooms, and I sat next to people that were willing to, tell the court I'm a good guy. And the Supreme Court, changed their mind about me. They suspended my license, and to be able to go back to practicing law. Usually you don't think lawyer and meth cook in the same sentence. Maybe they're in the same office
So
when
we
you're
gotta-
representing
We
one.
got to peel that story back a little bit.
Yeah.
So you went undergrad, you off probation,
Right.
you start your first year of law school.
Yeah.
All right, where we at now?
So I met a girl, and so I married a girl that was in vet school at the time when law school ended, and the pressure of going back of going in the courtroom with my history was really, really hard, because in my mind, everybody was thinking about me. Everybody knew the trouble I'd been in, and everybody had seen me in the courthouse in that orange jumpsuit. And so I go there, I get to practicing again, and it is just, this intense, fear that, they're going to figure out who I am, right? And that led me back to opiates.
Did you pass the bar the first time you took it?
I did.
He's anomaly. Anomaly.
No, a lot of people pass the bar the first time they take it.
No, they don't. Google it. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, I passed the bar the first time, but now after that, I couldn't pass another bar without going in. It was
So you the pressure of being in the courtrooms with this everybody knows about me mindset leads you to opiates, and that takes you down a dark path.
And opiates allow you not to feel.
Absolutely. Emotional bubble wrap.
Yeah. And I wanted, what I needed was to be able to go into these situations and not allow the fear to take over. And opiates did that.
So fast forward, and just to kind of correlate that context, we both know you, and you take a lot of cases, and some of them, and correct me if I'm wrong, some of them, the people that you're taking. So without the opiates, what did you find gave you the ability to do what you're doing today and representing people, but having that emotional connection with it?
You're right. I do like practicing law for people that I know. I'm inspired when it's. I work best when it's something that I'm passionate about.
Absolutely.
I work harder when I have an emotional connection to the person.
Yeah.
And it's not a real good way to make money because there's not enough of that. But it is what I'm doing. I have to do a bunch of other things to make a living because that model of practicing law doesn't do well. But the important question is, how then could I go back to practicing law? Because there's a lot of problems that happened after I got out of law school and couldn't handle it, Absolutely. And when I got back to practicing law in 2019. But I'll tell you, the thing that allowed me to do it this time was that I balanced the scales. Look, I had done a lot of things to weigh down that bad side of the scale. And when I got to treatment in 2010, I really didn't think there was much left for me to do. I mean, I've got 67 years of suspended sentences. I've got, 3 felonies. And so, when you start thinking about, okay, where am I going to land in the economic workforce? When I'd apply for a job, they'd call the cops.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm just going to have to dedicate myself to trying to help people. That was like, I didn't even know if I was going to get to work in a treatment center. We all got felony friends that are in treatment business, right? I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be the one. Terminally unique, right? Yeah. And so dedicating myself to doing that, it balances scales. And at some point, I said, you know what? I am not that person. I am not that. I can look at myself in the mirror and be okay with it. And so, when I got back to the courtroom and I was dealing with that, and it's an inside job, it's me dealing with it, right?
Right.
But what I found out, none of those people were thinking about me anyhow. They thought I was still practicing law. Half of them was like, well, all right, man, I hadn't seen you practicing law in another parish or something. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You don't know what I've done? What? And then I'm getting upset that they don't remember.
How dare you not know?
I made meth head of the week in the USA Today,
I was going to ask, are you allowed to speak about what you did that got you disbarred? I guess it's so to speak?
I mean, I pay attention to the statute of limitations. I know exactly
all people, yeah,
where we're at. No, I was sentenced and convicted, so let's see, 2005 is when I stopped practicing law. I went to the Bar Association and said, look, I can't practice law, and I need to go on inactive status. They're like, we were just about to come get you, too. So, and so I transferred my license to inactive status, and soon after that, I started getting in trouble, right? And so I get a DWI, but basically at 2005, I said, look, I don't have a professional association keeping track of me. I can just go balls to the walls. Right. There was no restriction like that. And
That's
so
why they call it high-speed chicken feed.
I learned that last episode actuly.
Well, I think the Federan is not in the chicken feed anymore because of people like me. So yeah, 2005, 2010, bad 5 years. Lots of homelessness, lots of absolutely no income. There was. I don't think I had like a key to a place that was mine. No actual place that I could call my own.
So, go ahead.
Up until 2005, how long was you practicing before you inactive yourself or whatever you call it?
Passed the bar. Started practicing in 2001.
Okay.
And so that wonderful girl that I met was in vet school. She saw the writing on the wall real fast, and she was gone. And then the addiction just took over.
So you had made reference to your father being a member of the club. During that time, what was your involvement with family? Were they just completely like, we're going to set healthy boundaries for ourselves? Were there any enablers, or what was that relationship like?
Good question.
Yeah, good question. And so it usually depends on if the family member was a drug addict or not. So if they were down with my program, they wanted me to come around, right?
Yeah.
And most of them weren't. So the honorable thing to do for a drug addict is just stay away. And so I stayed away from most of them, and then there was some enablers out there. I often look at all the people that are like getting intervened on, and these parents are sending them to rehab because they drank 2 beers and wet the bed, and I'm like, man, I'm blown up in a meth lab and in a coma in the Baton Rouge General, and nobody suggested rehab. I'm like, come on, man. Anytime now, right? And so I had plenty of interaction with my dad at that time, and so fortunately we both took sober. And let's see, for me, 2010, he was 2011, and as my
that's awesome.
Yeah,
congratulations.
My good mentor and friend and guy in Charlie Powell, he says, when do you quit fucking a skunk? And I was like, well, gosh, that's a funny question. And he says, well, it's the same time that you take sober. It's you quit when you can't stand it anymore. You may not had all you wanted of that skunk, but you just couldn't stand it anymore, right? It's that same thing with drugs and alcohol. Once you get to the point where you just can't stand it, you'll stop,
Dang.
So it's, you made a very good reference of like in the beginning of talking about all the beautiful things that recovery has done for you. So let's go through that journey. What was the catalyst, the event that led you to stop fucking the skunk?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a sheriff's deputy.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was on O'Neill Lane in my car at midnight, going to meet somebody else for something else, and when you're a meth cook, you stay up for a long time, and you also will fall asleep just at a stoplight because you haven't been asleep. And so I was driving through Burger King parking lot. It's closed, but I just fell asleep in the middle of driving through the parking lot. I used to be proud that I'd had my foot on the brake for the hour I was asleep before the deputy, because the deputy knocked on the thing, and I went like that, took my foot off the brake, and it started rolling. I was like, oh, shit, I'm still in drive. And so the gig was up. He looked down, and, I had the, mason jar of this and the stuff to make. So this was 2000, and this is March 4th, 2010, my sobriety date. It's the only date on the calendar that's a command, March 4th. So I was really happy about that. But they get me out, and I guess they hadn't had as many meth lab cleanups as they had today. But they made me take all my clothes off in the Burger King parking lot as people started coming by at 5:30 in the morning to get coffee, and they were scrubbing me. The fire department was scrubbing me with a scrub brush.
Bro, I would pay money for that video.
It's cold out.
I wish they had body cam.
That is it. He was trying to have it his way, huh?
It was a BK double day.
Dang, bro. And you say it was cold outside?
I don't think so.
It's okay. We all have those bad days.
So you get that moment, and then do you go to treatment, or is there no treatment in your story?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Baton Rouge Parish Prison. Yeah. And along the way,
That's a good version of treatment.
Oh yeah.
Not really, but
no. So what happens is I meet my first higher power.
okay.
It's Judge Bonnie Jackson.
Oh, Judge Bonnie.
I mean, a higher
You
power.
sold
right?
something to her before? I'm just playing. I'm sorry, Bonnie. That was a low blow.
Edit that out, Judge. I love you.
That was me too, Bonnie. I swear to God, I'll be tripping sometimes. That was a joke.
So yeah, I got in on March 4th, and in August she sentenced me to 35 years, and
For your first, that was your first offense?
No, he was on probation for 4 years.
I didn't know what he was on probation for. We never went into what it was for.
Drug charges.
I know, but it wasn't like
that was-
clandestine. That's a clandestine, huh? Something.
that was preceded by 33 pounds of marijuana, which was preceded by cultivation of marijuana.
Oh, Louis was thugging.
I
You just look like that.
I think when I went to court on the 33 pounds, the judge said, "What were you going to do with that?" I was like, "We were starting to smoke."
Man.
So, she sentenced me to 35 years, and she said, "Mr. Blanche, I'm going to give you one chance." Actually, she gave me two choices there. She said, "Look, if you want to stay in Baton Rouge and go through the DOC drug treatment program, I'll only sentence you to 15 years suspended sentence. But if you want to go up there to Maryland, where you know those people that own the treatment center, and you want to continue to run the show," she says, "I'm maxing you out on all charges. That's 15 on both meth labs and 5 more for the possession." And I remember saying, "Judge, I've changed. I'll take the 35. And somebody in the back of the courtroom said, "Ooh, he's still high." and she almost fell out of her chair. It was funny. But I will tell you, we all have those moments where, the words are the obsession left us, and it was removed at that moment. And it is a moment that I'll never remember, because I felt something wiggle in my brain like I could or something. But it was that moment when she sentenced me to those 35 years, your knees buckle, because that puts me right at 74, because I wasn't getting very good time with those preceding felonies. But something just changed. And, I go up to Maryland, go to treatment, and I meet somebody that's on fire, right? And I ride around, and we tried, to help anybody we could, and we go to lots of meetings, and we do the work, and we do it, and we do it. She sentenced me there for, I was there just about 2 years. So and look, if I got kicked out of there, if I left there, I had to come back.
You had to come in, and then you won't have to pay the piper.
Right. And so
you were one and done.
I had tried sobriety before that.
Okay,
So it wasn't I wasn't a first nighter, but I was for the first time in my life saying, I'm going to follow the instructions.
Yeah.
Right.
35 years will make you do that.
Yeah, and she knew my number, right? Because I had 15 years suspended before that, and it wasn't my number.
Yeah.
But she 35. She
That'll get your attention.
Like I said, she was a higher power, and so the great thing is that we all know is up there in those rooms, I started making friends, and this program is about. It's about me and you, man. It's about the thing that happens between us. It is, look, we come for our drinking, but we stay for our thinking. And once, I know that I got people out there that care about me. This is a different thing. It's not just, it's it's never been a punishment to me, but some people think, they made me go to those meetings. I'm like, they sent me somewhere where I met some people just like me that I love and I do anything for, right? And that's the best thing ever. Like I said, I met my wife in a meeting, and she says, that's the best dollar I ever put in the basket.
So when did you come back down to Louisiana? Did you stay after the 2 years, or was it 2 years? And what was that like? Because you had bonded with these people. That was your fellowship. That was your tribe. That was your support.
It was a big deal, and I had to come back basically for the because the Supreme Court was disbarring me, and so I had to come back for the court dates and things like that. And so I come back, and I'm at the hearing at the Bar Association in New Orleans, and I had this big thing prepared, and I realized that I just set it down. And after the prosecutor spoke, I said everything he said was true, everything he said was right. The only thing I can tell you now is what I do today, and I just laid out my day. I laid out, how to be sincere with God in the morning. I laid out on who I call to read my morning meditation with. I laid out how I walk through the day, with hand in hand, right? And trying to, look. I mean, see what my socks say? I guess the camera can't, but it says, what's it say?
Busy making a fucking difference.
Come on, man. Where you get them from? I just celebrated 7 years. I like gifts.
I can give you one when we leave. So, and that's all I had to tell him, right? I mean, because there was nothing else. There was no defense to any of it. And to my great surprise, they said, and then after I talked, they talked to the prosecutor. They were like, what would you say if we didn't disbar Mr. Blanche? And he says, well, we need to protect the public. We need to send him, all the things he should have said. And so they said, okay, we'll get back to you. And so the chairman of that committee, the panel, got off the panel. And as I was walking out, he said, keep doing what you're doing. I'm a friend of Bill's.
Hey!
Yeah.
But God was working for you. You couldn't even see it.
It was so good, man. And those are some of the little road signs along the way to make you know there's something else happening. I mean, there's like 10 committees that could have heard my case, but the one I got had the guy that was a sober guy on it. And so that stuff it blows me away still. So what? I get that news, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to come back to Louisiana. And
how long was that before they say we're going to let you practice again? Before the verdict? Yeah.
So that hearing was in 2012, and later that year they said that they were only going to suspend me, and that I would have to reapply when I wanted to. And the reapplication process is the real meat on the bone, too. They decided, hey, we're not going to take your license forever because it's a disease, but you're going to have to show us that you're.
Yeah.
And that's where the people of this program come in and said, hey, this guy is a guy that should have a chance.
Man.
Yeah.
To talk about that aspect, because Ronnie just made reference, like he's been sober for 7 years. Just celebrated. I celebrated March 1st, 10 years. And I've met so many people, and we've interviewed a couple who have a story about you. Whether they stayed sober or you just planted a seed or whatever it may be. What was the driving factor for when you came back to be so involved with so many young people's lives that you've helped? I mean, we interviewed, and we're not going to get into it, but we interviewed a young lady a couple of months ago who you proceeded or represented in a case for her children, and she has full custody of her children now. And so, like, there's just countless stories that I've ran into, just me as one person, that have ties to you.
Yep.
It started before I got to practice law again. It started in Maryland when they said, well, how are you going to get in the middle of the pack down there? You're now a couple years sober up here in Maryland, and the danger is you'll go back there and you won't think you're a newcomer, and you'll think that, you already got it, and, you've had, and so, and I was working in treatment up there, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to try to start helping people. And what happened was I got somebody to Woodlake, and Gomez just kind of hooked me with his hook, and said, hey man, why don't you come? And so I started working there on Old Hammond for Woodlake.
Okay.
And so
I know that.
That was in the 2013-ish, because that's
was,
when I went to Woodlake for the very first time, and I ran into you.
So that happened, and the point of that was, hey man, how do you get so enmeshed in recovery like you were in Maryland that you get the same results? Because phenomenal things were happening to me in Maryland,
Absolutely.
and certainly could have stayed, but I started finding the same people here, and so I just liked it and stayed, and so then that kind of led to the sober living business, and so then I started having kids, and so I'm cutting grass, and I got sober living houses, and somewhere along the way, 2016, 15, 16, I think my son LB was born, and it was 100 out, and I'm cutting grass, and I think I fell out or something, and my wife said, that's over. I'm not raising these kids alone. You're going to have to figure out something else to do. And so that's when I said, you know what, maybe I'll, but I really think the timing was pretty divine too. I wasn't ready to start practicing law before. So I went, although I got my license back in 2018, I immediately opened up the detox hospital.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So, God was saying, hey, you're doing well. Let me show you, but you're not quite ready.
Right.
And so, my experience at Detox Center, Louisiana, was just phenomenal, man. I loved it, man. I loved it, man. I love being at that intersection of people at their worst, so I could make them feel just a little bit different,
And that's when I thought he was the mailman.
Yeah.
So I actually was fortunate enough to detox at your facility in April of 2019.
Well, I remember, I'd get a bunch of mail newspapers, and I'd bring them around.
Yep.
And you got one every day.
Yep.
You just raise your hand, like, bring it over here,
Yep.
dude. I think,
That's a cool
hey.
mailman right there, man.
And,
that is the owner. It's one of your workers pulled me to the side. So I got a question for you. So I was going to go that route, but on the flip side of that, like Mike said, you've had an impact on so many people, whether it be legal, whether it be in family court, whether it be providing a safe space for people like me especially. How do you keep that ego in check and be like, yep, that one mine, those kids, I had a part in that. Like, how do you keep that balance, that center?
That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure that the moment that I act superior to anybody, that relationship is over.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna grow no more past that moment, right? And I'm a needy guy, right? I want friends.
Yeah.
I want to have connections to you guys. I don't want to be on the outs. I want to be, because I was red hair, freckles, curly, skinny, right? I was on the outs, and I don't want that.
Absolutely.
I want to be part of, and so I mean, I don't think there's a real choice, because you can stop a relationship from growing just as soon as you act like you're better
Absolutely.
than somebody else.
Do you ever sit with it though and just be like, man, like God, like you have allowed me to help hundreds, probably tens of thousands of people. I'm just going to them and say, like, do you ever sit with that for a second and just be like, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy about it. I'm very, very, very happy about it. I can't, I'm so, thrilled that I got to do that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. I mean, and it comes back. It really does. There's I mean, I can't tell you how many clients I have just from people who came through detox, and I trust you.
Yep. Yep.
Or some of them will say, look, you got yourself out of trouble, and you can get me out of trouble. I ain't nearly as fucked up as you were.
Yeah. Man, that's amazing.
So, and this is a left field question. The bees. And I know that at one point you were making your own hot sauces. Where, like, is that like is that a spiritual thing for you, or just a I need to be busy doing something thing?
It's a lot, but what I kind of hope is that I'm showing people that we are more than just being sober, and we're more than just our job, right? Because man, I got sober to do everything. Getting high, as I gave up everything to do some drugs, and so I gave up drugs to do everything, and so
That's a shirt.
and people are like, how do you have time to do it? I really don't have time to do it, man. And but the bees are also about something slow, an investment. Like you don't get honey the first year that you have a new hive. That swarm that I caught today, it's not going to have honey this year, but next year could have some honey. And so it's like delayed gratification, patience.
Which is recovery.
It is. It is.
Do they talk to you? Like, are you a bee whisperer?
So, like, Ronnie, you coming back to the detail? No. I will tell you it requires you to be very present with bees, because as soon as you start like banging around and you're not, really kind of careful with what you're doing, they will sting your ass right through the suit. The suit only it's like, how locks are only for honest people. Well, the bee suit is only for people that are acting right, because as soon as you act wrong in a bee suit, they still sting you.
They can get through the suit.
They sting you through the suit. They don't really get through it. Just the fabric will get tight near your skin, and they know it, and they'll pop you. Yep. So being present in that is like a really good thing, because man, we got so many things dividing our attention. We got so much like, this, and you can't do that at beekeeping. You've got to like, hey, I'm gonna pick up this frame nice and gentle. I'm not gonna bang it on anything. I'm gonna and just being nice, slow, deliberate, present is like the things that we need for ourselves and for our kids and our partners. So the bees were a big thing. Now the chickens, I just wanted to, have fresh eggs for the guys at the sober house, and I like to give them away. I like to give that stuff away. People, you don't have blue, green, yellow, olive eggs being brought to you. Here you go, have some eggs.
Yard eggs.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of cocks running around the yard, huh?
If you have a rooster in the middle of town, your neighbors will start to get pissed off. So,
oh wait, a chicken is not that.
No.
Horrible joke.
No.
Tried.
Chicken is not
Wow. So let me ask you a question. Do you think bees dream of your bee farms of like heaven? Like, in the movie Bugs Life, where all the bugs, like they have that destination place in mind? Do you think these bees be like, bro, I heard about a place in Baton Rouge where the honey flows like wine, and the bee girls are so fine and divine. My only mission is to get there.
Man, I'm so much farther out than that. I actually think the aliens have the bees here, and I said, look, I am taking care of these bees. Can't y'all hook me up with something, can you kind of figure out some of my internal problems for me? I'm watching the bees for y'all. So far, no response.
Well, it's like just talking stories. We were at the conference last week, and a mutual friend of all of ours came, and he was telling a story.
Oh, yeah.
To sit in the woods.
Yeah. And a few bees running around. He threw his arm, and he was like, I think we should leave now. We got to get out of here now.
So, well, with all of that, and a just great testimony of God's grace and perseverance, what's next?
Yeah. I have tried to slow down some of the things I'm doing and get off some boards, and I'm down to one sober living house. It's really hard to do other things and practice law, but I'm going to manage it. I will say that there is some new modalities for treating people, and in the psychedelic space of experiences. I think that's coming, and I want to figure out how to be part of that. I think there might be a new treatment center in my future. So
Hey.
that would be really cool. And
Is that breaking news?
No, it's not. You know, I've
Supposed to lie and say, yeah, we like.
yeah,
Man,
no, but I mean, look, it takes a long time for those things to come together to do it. You know, do it the way I do, and so or want to do it anyhow.
Will it be full continuum like detox inpatient, like the?
Yeah, we think that there would probably be at least those top two levels of care.
And you was, from my point of view, it was successful. Now I don't know the underlying stuff that went on with other stuff, but they have a lot of people that came through. I'm just say the name. That came through Braddock. That's still with us today and like heavy hitters in the recovery industry.
Yeah, no, I mean the business model was gangbusters. It really was going great. A regulatory problem with the parent company, screwed it up. So.
Yeah.
So our final two questions. As someone, we're built by the Red Stick. We love Baton Rouge. We love Louisiana. You're obviously a smart man. A lot of things can be at your, with your humility and with God's grace at your fingertips. What's kept you here? What's kept you tied to Baton Rouge? I mean, my early days of remembering you was going to what's the place on Government?
St. Chris?
No.
St. Luke's?
3.1.
O'Brien House.
Florida.
Florida.
And Florida.
Yeah, I got you.
And carrying the message. And so, like, being so impactful into the community, what's kept you and what's drove you to be that for Baton Rouge?
As y'all know, Lane Kiffin needed a sponsor.
Lane Train. Lane, if you watching this,
Come on board.
Come on, toot.
Yeah, I mean, it's really great to make a difference in where you're from,
Absolutely.
and if that inspires you, you should stay and do what you can for the place
Absolutely.
that you did the dirt, and I still feel
Gets it.
I still feel like I got a lot of ground to make up. I still feel like, and that's the whole program, though. I believe that when times are really tough for me and I don't know how I'm going to get the bills paid, the thing to do is to give away the little bit of money I got left, because that's the way it comes back for me. That don't make any sense to nobody, right? But to me, I know when it's bad and it's tight, go out there and be generous, because that wheel works for me. And it's fortunately my wife is 25 years sober and she understands that.
25 years?
And
Because you got 16, they got 41 years between them. I'm sorry. That's impressive. Jeez, who wins the arguments?
Hold on. She's got
There are none.
She's got 10 years.
You heard what he said?
She's got 10 years more than him. She 13 stepped him.
She 13 stepped you.
Only paid $1.
He said there are no arguments. Is that a product of the program, or is that just a product of Louie and Miss Wifey? I don't know her name.
Yeah, no, she's just perfect for me, and our
That's amazing.
I mean, she's the talented one, but that's just the way it is. We don't need to argue.
So before Mike asks the last question, I want a surprise question.
Okay, surprise away.
You know how they say we're a product of our environment, right? Baton Rouge is a violent place. These little youngsters carrying guns. So are the bees violent? Like the little YBs be carrying little bee guns and stuff? Young bees?
Well, Ronnie, for your benefit, I got them on no kill right now.
Okay. We just need to know.
I mean, stay in your lane.
Can't have a bunch of YBs right now.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to leave you hanging, man.
You good.
So our last question that we ask everybody, if somebody currently right now is listening to this and going through something familiar that you shared, what are some words of inspiration you would leave somebody who feels stuck or feels like they need help?
Call me. I'll come and I will figure out a way to get you some help. and it will be the best thing that I can do today.
Yeah.
So the thing, I've got all kind of things that I'm worried about right now, but if someone was to call me right now and say I need help, all that stuff would go away.
Yeah.
And whoever was in the midst of a trauma would be giving my brain a break.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that when they're in the midst of it.
Yeah.
But call me.
And he's not just saying that because he's in front of y'all. Like, I have witnessed like
absolutely.
this personally. Like, he's gonna figure it out.
So,
Sure.
hey, Ronnie, I just want to make this correlation for our viewers right now. Y'all heard he said he doesn't have enough time to add new things, but he did have enough time for Built by the Red
He
Stick.
definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Built by the Red Stick. You know what I'm talking about? And then next week we'll be right back.
But listen, Ronnie, I know we could stay here all day, but unfortunately, we've got kids to get to, and we've gotten to your least
And
favorite
bees.
and bees.
Bees and kids.
We've got to your least favorite part of the episode.
This was, and I know I say this a lot, Mike, but I want to go on record and say this. This was probably, well, not probably. This is one of my favorite interviews.
Top 5 for sure.
Top 3 for me. I know I'm probably forgetting some stuff, right? Top 3 for sure. Because the things I thought I knew of you, I didn't know the backstory of what made you that. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I got a chance to learn that driving engine and driving force who made Louis the man. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and the Built by the Red Stick family for taking time out of your busy schedule, literally, and coming and sitting down and having this conversation with us. And
being present.
And being present. My dude, bro, I love a little B joke. And also, you know, our listeners and viewers, like, I know for a fact somebody got something out of this. Because at the height of your career, you still suffered from this disease of alcoholism that we all suffer from. So it goes back to what we saying, like, nobody is
immune.
Susceptible. I'm trying to learn
Everybody is susceptible.
Nobody's immune. There we go. And so it don't matter who you are, what color you are, what religion you are, you know, your ethnicity, your financial background. It doesn't matter. Your political beliefs. This disease is here for one reason: to kill, steal, and destroy. And so we just want to thank you for being vulnerable and opening up. And all our loved ones out here, our babies, our loves, we show y'all week in and week out that we are here for you. We are constantly bringing raw and real content week in and week out. We are real people with real problems that really want to help you find a solution. If you or somebody you know or a loved one is struggling, please, 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 please reach out to us. You can find me at Ronnie LeDuff on Facebook. You can find him at Michael Axelrod Oakley on Facebook. It's Lewis Blanche on Facebook. You heard my guy? He said reach out to him. He will answer, and he going to give you a free jar of honey on him. The first one on him. After that, you got to pay for it. Prices will be posted on our page later. Please reach out to us. We really do this for y'all. We really want to help y'all. And like my man say, if you allow us to help you, that helps us. Allow us to love you until you can learn to love yourself. And you also can reach out to us, builtbytheredstick.com, which will soon be going under construction. That was new to me. Inside joke. We love you, Austin. But yes, we will have a new one up for you. You can also reach us at builtbytheredstick@gmail.com. Built by the Red Stick on all platforms. Facebook,
All of them.
IG, TikTok, YouTube. Reach out to us. My phone number's plastered everywhere. His phone number's plastered everywhere. Our face plastered everywhere. And guess what? We will be stopping the pre-orders for the hats and the beanies real soon. So if you haven't got your order in, you need to do it now. Stop saying you're going to do it. Stop the cap. Do it. Do it now. We love y'all. We see y'all. Till then, we back at the same time, at the same place, with the same producer. Built by the Red Stick. Built by adversity, led by courage.
We love y'all.